Coach, across the league, openers are always interesting. How do you like your group's ability to remain composed and come up with big plays down the stretch tonight?
I think that was it. We found a way. I think in this league you do have to find ways, even when it's not a pretty game. That fourth quarter was big for us, being able to get the timely stops. Dell getting big rebounds, making the extra effort on certain plays. You got to give credit to our fans as well. I mean, they turned up, and we talked about Jalen Suggs being back in the building and his energy to get the crowd involved consistently was big for us.
You mentioned Wendell's rebounds late and he had those free throws at the end. Just what does it say about him where maybe things didn't go his way the first three quarters and he's still impacting the game?
Beatty, that's the truth about him. And we've talked about him being a captain and for this team. He didn't let it rattle him. He did what he had to do to get himself together at halftime. We talked to him in the huddle. His teammates talked to him, and he found a way. And that says so much about that young man and his growth and what he's come through to be able to not be great in the first half, but he understands his presence for this team and his ability to stay poised and make big plays down the stretch because that's who he is.
Defensively, what did you want to see more of maybe from your team, or how would you have assessed their defensive performance going into tonight's game?
We'll have to go back and look at the film, for tonight, and then we'll review it tomorrow a little bit more. But, off the top, I'd have to say early on we didn't do a great job defending without fouling. We put them on the line 27 times. In the previous games, it was 34 and 38. So doing a better job defending without fouling, containing the basketball, those are some key pieces. You got to give Miami credit. They played hard. They hit some timely shots, some big shots early on. But our guys were able to keep their composure.
You talk about the composure and finding a way. What did you think about the way that the team kind of came together and kind of problem solved their way through some of the struggles that they had maybe in that second or third quarter and kind of found the grit they needed to pull this one out?
Well, that's the beauty of a 48-minute game. You have time. You have some time to find what you need to do to get together. They were doing a very good job of communicating with one another. You see down the stretch there were huddles talking about what they needed to do defensively. Oz was doing a great job down the stretch talking to the guys about what we needed to do. But their ability to communicate with one another, again, that's going to be big for us this year.
It's only one game, but it seems like there's a nice clear leap from Tristan already. He made a couple critical baskets there in the third. Just what did you see from him tonight and how impressive he was, providing that little spark, 16 points off the bench?
Exactly what we need from him throughout the year. Being able to come in, make timely shots, playing with a high level of confidence. I think playing this summer with the national team did wonders for him to know what we need from him, to not be afraid when he steps on the floor and play with that type of swagger.
Again, it just being one of 82. But when you look at young teams that make the jump, traditionally they're never always running it through one guy. Like tonight, Franz had the big first half. Desmond very quiet, and then he has a great line at the end. Paolo kind of slow for a minute, and he ends up with 24. What sort of luxury is it that you have an unselfish group, but you have a bunch of guys that you can run it through at any time, whichever way you want to go? What sort of a luxury is that to have three number one options, basically?
Like, those are good problems. Those are very good problems. I mean, you see down the stretch, we're trying to find a matchup. We go to Paolo and Desmond in the pick and roll when usually we go to Franz and Paolo in the pick and roll. Jalen's out there. He makes a big play. It says a lot about the guys that are not afraid of the moment, and they trust each other enough to make the right play at the right time. And they're all capable of making big-time plays, and they celebrate each other. And that's the beauty of this team, is our depth, our togetherness, and the focus that we have to continue to work for one another.
Jamahl, looks and feels like Desmond has just fit like a glove into a missing finger in a glove. Can you talk about his fit and the pieces, the leadership, and his skills brings to the group?
Well, he brings a calm, but he also brings a toughness. His ability to get guys together in huddles. You saw him bringing the group together down the stretch. I think it was maybe the 4:30 mark that he brought guys in. Jalen was over there, getting the crowd going, and Desmond brought everybody in. And I think his ability to do that for this group says a lot. And also making the right play, putting the ball in his hands down the stretch. He can handle it. Him and Paolo, two-man game pick and roll to Tim's point, that's a luxury to have these guys down the stretch to be able to make big-time plays for one another.
Coach, congratulations. It is only one of 82, as people pointed out, but it's the first one. It's opening night. You beat a rival who you knew wasn't going to go down without a fight. What does that mean?
It means a lot. You know, we say it about no matter what's happening with Miami, it's always going to come down to a close game. That's just the way Spo coaches that team. That's the culture they have. They're going to continue to fight. They're going to continue to grind the game. And I think that's the importance. And I say it now and I'll say it again, the importance of our fans and the support that we have. That got the building going. It got our energy up to string some stops together. But it is one of 82. And we'll go back and look at the film and see if we did the right things within our process and get these guys to continue to get better every day.
Jamahl, last year we didn't get to see a lot of Franz and Paolo and Jalen on the floor at the same time, but to see that trio and the way that Desmond added in, just what did you think? How much comfort is there in that group and the way that they seem to work so well together?
It's going to be an ongoing process, but it was great to see because it had been a long time. I almost forgot what it looked like. But these guys, they've done such a great job at camp communicating and talking to each other and telling the others what they need, what they see. It is a tight group, and they can lean on each other. They can communicate to each other, call each other up for the right things, and that's what we're going to continue to see. And one of 82, but we'll take this one right now, and we'll continue to get better and keep building in the process that we're putting together.
Thank you, Coach Mose.
Thank you all.